Bitcoin one move away from a very big move that I could call a mass frenzy, because if this happens, I could see potentially some FOMO getting involved in the very short term. This is the hourly chart. I really want to break down this move, especially as it has to do with a potential even bigger breakout on the 6-hour chart. And what's so awesome about this is that this all comes together on the daily and the weekly. The story right now for Bitcoin, for crypto markets, and the pivot from bear to bull is being told. Before we talk about that, I want to lay context outside of just price. And I really want your comments below. Let me know what you think about this. 2 points. SEC clampdown has crypto space abuzz. Pantera Capital says we're in a bull market. So especially if you're in the US, you're kind of like, wait, number one, how are we in a bear market, but SEC is just clamping down on crypto? Well, this is a really, really good point coming from Cameron Winklevoss. My working thesis at the moment is that the next bull run is going to start in the East, meaning it's not just about the US, everybody. Crypto is not going to be stopped. Whether the US falls behind or not, crypto is going to keep innovating and growing as a space. It will be a humbling reminder that crypto is a global asset class and that the West, really the US, always only ever had 2 options: embrace it or be left behind. It can't be stopped. That we know. In this video, I want to break down that storyline on the charts. And I also want to explore this. Pantera Capital saying we're in a bull market. Are we in a bull market? Let me know if you agree in the comments below. I'm going to give you my take on that, and let's do it right now. So before we start talking about targets on the hourly, on the 6-hour, I do want to explore that whole bull market mentality. Are we in a bull market right now? Mainly coming from the fact that, hey, we put in a nice low below our macro 786 line, our Fibonacci retracement, and we're making a really nice move. Crypto's, you can see on the Bitcoin chart, just making a nice move to the upside. Is this the bull market? Is this a bull market? Well, we go back into the last cycle, and the move is so similar to Bitcoin exiting the last bear market, so similar to what happened right here. Was this the beginning of the last bull market? I do not think so. Many of you might watch my channel from a macro perspective. I use these Fibonacci retracements to mark bear market lows and bottom ranges. You see these yellow lines on the charts. But on the flip side, the bull market doors. And what that looks like is a bull market high to bear market swing low. And it's just these Fibonacci, and it's not perfect because I don't have it charted perfectly. It's these green ranges, these rectangles, this retracement to bull range, right? And so that is the bull market doors. So November 2020 is when we really started talking about the bull market being confirmed. And that was coming, all the way out of this bottom in 2018. And you can actually see Bitcoin made a run to the bull market doors and saw immediate resistance there and came back down. Here are the bull market doors this time around. Just for some context, we have $56,000, right around $56,000, down to $47,000. Those are the bull market doors that I'm waiting for that macro confirmation. I'm not saying we won't see massive upside, potentially even testing that area to the upside. But again, for me, from a technical analysis perspective, that's not confirming a mass bull market event, right? And this is something we might not see until post 2024 halving, which is just something I think we should prepare for. But again, not to say we won't see massive gains. One thing to also note is I don't think we can confirm bull market when we're actually testing huge resistance on the weekly chart. You see this 50-week moving average crossing below the 200-week moving average. Right now, from a macro perspective, if you've been watching my channel, I'm so bullish, everybody. We've been bottoming out, putting in our bottom range. We're in the middle of a cycle pivot right in between these 2 white lines that you see on the screen. Those are the Bitcoin halvings. And it's the worst is over, in my opinion. So I'm extremely macro bullish, but confirmation wise, I don't think we can say the bull market is here. And we can look back on the data and see what that says. But let's zoom in and start talking about, well, at this huge resistance area, what's going on? This is where things get exciting. You can see on the daily chart, just obvious resistance right around where Bitcoin is right now, around $25,000. And we've broken the 20-day moving average. We have this 50-day moving average crossing above the 200. Everything is looking extremely bullish. And then we start zooming in and we see the potential for bullish continuation. A video the other day just talked about the momentum oscillators lining up so nicely and so similarly to the 2018 to 2019 bear market exit, right? So right now, there's definitely room for upside. On the 6-hour chart, we discussed the fact that if Bitcoin can make a run to this trend line, we have a breakout target to the upside of around $29,000 to $30,000 from this inverse head and shoulders that is pretty much almost in play, almost confirmed at this neckline, but we have to wait for that to play out. What could get Bitcoin there? That's the question. And it's happening right now on the even more zoomed in chart, the hourly. And if you watch my YouTube channel, I don't do this a lot where I'm zooming in on these charts this much. But when things get this exciting where you start having just obvious resistance at immediate resistance on a weekly moving average, and we are right there right now. Look at this 200-week moving average. Let me zoom in on this. Look at this 200-week moving average. Bitcoin is right there. And all the while on the hourly, we're having just also immediate resistance. So this area, this specific area, $25,000 where we're doing this video is a big deal for Bitcoin. And it's going to be very interesting today even just to see how this plays out. So here is how Bitcoin could make a break to the upside to start making this inverse head and shoulders play out, start confirming that neckline right around $25,500 or so. We go to the hourly. What's the breakout target of this? An ascending triangle. Breakout target is right around $26,500 to $600. So if Bitcoin is able to reach this target on this 6-hour chart, guess what? We will be in this vicinity putting in a potential bullish break above this upper trend line, the neckline of this inverse head and shoulders. So the chart's really coming together on the short term, and you can see what it looks like. One thing to note though, on this hourly chart, in the short term, as I upload the video, just as quickly as Bitcoin is testing this upper trend line resistance, we could fall to test the support area at the lower trend line. So this swing low that we just had, I mean, this is an hourly chart. Just yesterday, hitting $23,800 or so to now the new swing high on the very short term. We have a higher low Fibonacci in play, meaning if there's resistance here at the upper trend line, as there has been, right? Previously on this chart, we can see resistance right around the exact dollar that Bitcoin is right now. We come back down, there's in play a higher low bounce potential. So 618 right around 24,300, the 786 right around 24,000, and then obviously really confluent with the higher low area, which is very consistent. This happens all the time, is the lower trend line. So we could just come right back down to the lower trend line, if not fall a little bit below, put in a higher low. So the lower trend line right now, I mean, it's right around 24,300 or so, just above 24,000. A fall to that area. Maybe Bitcoin tests this resistance for a while, hours, and then it falls, right? So maybe it just trickles down, lower highs all the way down. We have to evaluate the consolidation into the apex of this ascending triangle and wait for a breakout, because right now, I mean, we're kind of approaching, if not right around the 70% area, and 70% on these triangles is basically give or take where we're looking for a breakout to happen. So breakout could be imminent. It really could be in terms of this ascending triangle. The question is it going to be to the downside, to the upside? Note the downside target around $23,000. It's notable. It's important because if we go to the daily chart, we notice the 20-day moving average is right around $23,000. So a fall to that area could be in play if this ascending triangle breaks to the downside. That's a support area to watch for Bitcoin on the zoomed in charts. But breakout potential is in play. One thing to note to kind of lend itself to breakout potential, look where Bitcoin is on the daily. On the daily, there's still room, an explosive move potentially for Bitcoin. It's not even overbought right now on this daily RSI, this momentum oscillator, which is slower moving. You even go to the weekly, and we see on the weekly chart as Bitcoin is contending between these two moving averages of resistance, Bitcoin also not overbought on this RSI, this momentum oscillator. Needless to say, there's a ton of upside in play for Bitcoin, and we're going to wait, we're going to watch, we're going to see how it plays out. And it really is all playing out on this hourly chart. Let me know your thoughts about all of these things in the comments below. Please hit that like, hit that subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.